Hello and welcome to the show. Look who I've got. Have I had this many people before? I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, I might have come to 5 or 6, but wow, 7 people, including myself, on the show today for this very special show. Before we start, and I'll tell you what the show is about, I want to introduce a new Iridiot. I hope you don't mind me calling you a Iridiot, mate. That's it. That's it. You are an Iridiot now. We got Todd. How you doing, Todd?
Very well, thank you very much, and I'm honored to be considered in the welcome. Thank you.
So Todd,
yeah, so I'm from the USA. Thank you for allowing another Yank on the show. Right about as close to the middle of the USA as you can get. But I've been enjoying your show, and I love these collaboration videos, and I'm excited to be part of it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, your comments have just been off the chart. I mean, every show you always have just really involved comments. I always put all the information you need about any band, and it's just brilliant. So we just had to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, me and Don were talking the other week, and we said, Don basically messaged me. He said, "Have you seen Todd's comments?" He's like, what's going on? I mean, the T-shirt sums it up, man. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge there, and we like to say we've got a little bit of knowledge on here, but this just adds to it, obviously. And yeah, we do allow Americans on here. You know what I mean? We've got Dom. We've got Dom, although he's maybe more English than American now.
Yeah.
And of course, Mr. Mark Lower in the top right-hand corner there. So, yeah. So, guys, welcome to the show. So this is a bit of a special one. I think Jam had this idea.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. So what this one is songs with great intros. So we don't mean their actual intros. The beginning of a song is something that basically just, you know, gets us going, if you like. I was thinking about this. It could be anything, couldn't it? So it's that one where if it comes on, you're like, you never get tired of it, and you turn it up to 11. It's like one of them, and it's like, oh yeah, I love the beginning of this song. And usually, I don't know about you guys, if it's a good I haven't got one that's got a good intro and then turns into a bad song. Could happen, couldn't it?
I've got one, but I can't listen to it.
Oh, you
anymore.
have? You have?
Yeah.
So, because normally if it's a bad song, I probably wouldn't bother with that again. So my songs themselves are good all the way through. They're just some of my favourite songs, and they start so great as well. So it could be a riff, it could be a drum beat, it could be anything. It's just a great intro. Does that make sense? Atmosphere, it could be anything. So we're going to do around the houses as usual. We're going to do 5 each, which will take a little bit of time. We might split the show into 2. It just depends how long it lasts. And I'm sure we've all got some honourable mentions. It was quite hard because there's so many songs with great intros, as you know. Are you all ready, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just have to quote David Lee Roth here. Look at all the beautiful people here tonight.
Well, there's only one. There's only one, and that's Karen. All the rest of you are so ugly. Anyway.
Thanks a lot, bro.
No, you are. You're all beautiful to me in your own weird way. Okay, so we're going to go, so I don't get confused. I'm going to go. Annie had the idea for the show, so we should only start with Jam. Jam, mate, what you got? I'm not in any. I haven't done these in any particular order, by the way. They're not worst to best. Or I've just got 5. I don't know about you. I'm going to go down the list where I've written them down. But Jam, what you got there, mate?
Okay, yeah, mine aren't in any order, but I'm going to start with where everything started, and that is go with Black Sabbath, title track, 1970. It's probably one of the most well-known intros in the whole world. Brilliant. Atmosphere this is going for. I think mine are mostly not going to be guitar riff-based intros, just because I didn't really think about it. I thought the great intros are usually atmospheric or maybe drums or something. But yeah, Black Sabbath, obviously with the rain and the lyrics and the heaviness and the birth of metal, really. So yeah, I thought you've got to start there, and it's one that I still don't get bored of this. I don't need to listen to Paranoid and some of the other Sabbath songs, Iron Man and stuff like that anymore, but I don't get bored of Black Sabbath at all. It's a great song.
Wow.
And morphs into gets a bit faster at the end. It's got everything you need. It's perfect. It sums up metal basically in one song, and it's the first song ever released in the genre in 1970. Okay. This is obviously not an original pressing, but it's from the 80s. But yeah.
Well,
Okay.
to tell you the truth, I'm glad I chose you first as well, Jam, because that couldn't have been a better start. The birth of metal, the first choice, the first song on the album. I mean, how cool is that? That's the perfect choice from Jam. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Never get tired of that. You're right. Completely agree.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I'm sure others here might have had that thought or might have it on their list, but hopefully we've got some honorable mentions where we don't have. It doesn't matter if you repeat, by the way. It doesn't matter if you really want to talk about that song. What does it matter? So thank you very much, Jam, for your first choice, mate. Much appreciated. Moving up to Mr. Mark Clower. How you doing, Mark? A bit early for you. And Todd now.
I thought I was the early one, but Todd's got me beat by an hour. So.
Man.
Okay. Yeah, I came very close to picking that same song because I totally agree. That is the birth of metal. The bells, the thunder and lightning, the whole shebang. Yeah. That's where heavy metal was born. I kind of felt like somebody picked that one, so I left it off my list. But first one I'm gonna pick is Iron Maiden's "Still Life." Just that backwards message at the beginning of the song. I vividly remember when that came out. You know, that was during the height of all the devil worship accusations to a lot of these bands, and this was kind of their response to it. And as a 13, 14-year-old kid or whatever I was when it came out, you just assumed it was something demonic. And you always wanted to know what that backward message was. Well, a buddy of mine, his father, he was in radio or TV or something. He had all kind of recording equipment. He had an old reel-to-reel tape player.
Oh, wow.
And we recorded that song and spent hours playing it in reverse, trying to decode what that message was. And never could quite make it out. And many years later, when I discovered the internet, I remember that was one of the first things I said, well, I got to Google that and see if there's an answer to that age-old question. And sure enough, turns out it was Nico McBrain just kind of screwing around. And the funny thing is, even when you hear it forward, you still have a hard time understanding what he's saying, because he says it in an over-exaggerated accent that is supposed to mimic a Ugandan accent. He was trying to mimic the old Ugandan dictator Idi Amin, and what it actually says, basically paraphrased, what said the monster with three heads, don't meddle with things you don't understand. That was kind of in response to the all the devil worship accusations, but for years I wondered what that message was, and I thought it just set that song up perfectly. Of course, the song itself, one of the better songs on that album anyway. But as an intro, it's very creative, and just thought it was something a little different, other than just a musical intro.
It definitely is, mate. It definitely is, and you're right. When you're that age, and I was, like, it brings all sorts of things into your head. And obviously, they just come off the back of Number of the Beast, which were like then they catapulted into this devil worshipping band, and they took the piss out of it, didn't they? Just
they didn't try too hard to distance themselves from it. I mean, kind of like Sabbath, they kind of embraced it, but
That's what I mean about this is a great show. It could be anything. That is quite a really cool intro in it. So cheers, Mark, for that. A bit of Maiden. I mean, there's so many Maiden choices, I think, that have been great intros. So that's definitely one of them, and one that's a bit different as well. So very cool. Thank you very much, mate. Right, Mr. Ralph Thurm, what you got, mate?
Yeah, I think I start with the newest one, the newest release date. because I also have a lot of these songs that you heard like 20, 30, 40 years, and you never get tired of them. But there was one song just released recently, which I have heard surely 100 times now, and that's Touchdown by Udo Dirk-Snyder.
Brilliant.
And what amazed me is not just the whole album is just killer. But what amazed me with that song is really the intro riff, but also how Sven Dirk-Snyder, the son of Udo Dirk-Snyder, who's the drummer, in his absolute brilliance, starts the drumming. When you just listen at that drum fill, I just can't get enough of it. It's just so brilliantly introduced together with the riff. And then, of course, it starts with a little bit of lead guitar, and then comes the shout from Udo that really introduces the verse, so to say. But that beginning part, that first 25 seconds, is just so mind-blowing that I thought, this must be one of my 5 songs here. So I'm totally into that new Udo album. I think it's the best that he has done for minimally a decade. And from that song just blows my mind all the time I hear it. It's just fast as a shark.
Yeah, I see what you did there, mate. I see what you did. Very cool. I'm glad people are. I knew you would bring some new stuff to us as well, Ralph, because I've gone for some older stuff where I normally do some like weird new stuff, nude. I didn't say nude, honestly, guys. I'm not just because you're all on camera. Everybody. I know that's what usually happens after we turn the recording off, but no. But no, I'm really glad you brought some new stuff in there, and I knew you would, Ralph. So that's very cool. I've just gone old-fashioned today, but thank you very much, mate.
The rest will be older stuff.
There's plenty of it, mate. Thank you very much. Cheers for that. Dom, you're in the middle, mate. You're the king of the Iridiots today. You're right in the middle.
Always in the middle, yeah. I'm just impressed that Ralph has listened to the new Udo about 100 times already. That's only been out for about 2 months.
There you go. If you like it that much, right?
Yeah.
And that beginning piece, I just over and over again.
You'll have to make that your ringtone so you jump down.
That's a good idea.
Right. Okay. So mine are all fairly well known. This one is very well known. It's from one of the biggest albums of all time, really. But sometimes we forget. So this is Hell's Bells.
Oh yeah.
Off of Back in Black. Now, obviously we all know the story. Bon dies in February. This comes out in July. So in 5 months, they got Brian Johnson in. They wrote new material. Apparently, they got some ideas for the follow-up to Highway to Hell, but Bon isn't credited with any lyrics or anything. So in 5 months, they got all this together, and it starts with that bell, which is a nod, obviously, to Bon dying. But then it just goes into just one of the greatest records of all time. And, so many people will say, oh, I prefer the Bon years. I prefer the Bon years. But matter of fact, Back in Black has sold probably 10 times more than any of those other records, So, it's the populist choice. And for them to have such a tragic thing happen and then to have the biggest album of not only their career, but of all time, it's just incredible, just incredible that they made this record in such a short period of time. And look at them now. What is it? 25 million, 30 million, something like that. So yeah, Hell's Bells, just fantastic opening.
That was going through my head as well, that one. What an amazing, and the riff as well. It's just brilliant. The way it starts off. I've just got a talk.
All of these, you just get kind of, you don't really appreciate them anymore because you hear them so often. Obviously I've heard Hell's Bells. I don't know how many times everybody has.
Yeah.
But just, it's just so impressive.
Agreed. This thing was just eating my toe.
Oh, well, he's getting revenge
Yeah.
for when you stepped on it that one time.
Yeah.
Well, he was
I
just
was having a wave.
he was having a little nibble. Hello, everybody. There you
Oh,
go. We got to get an animal in somewhere, haven't we? And it's a tortoise today.
Wow.
What a brilliant song! Excellent classic. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, across to Karen. How are you, Karen?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to see everybody. It's nice to have so many people here. So yeah, I've done the same thing. I haven't picked my greatest. These are just 5 random intros that move me particularly. They're not in any particular order. And I'm going to start heavy with the first one. This came out when I was 13, and it's South of Heaven by Slayer. It's that really kind of eerie, sinister guitar intro that is just really compelling, and yeah, it's a little bit kind of scary, kind of horror movie kind of sound, and at that age, like I say, my parents were pretty cool. They loved their rock music, but they drew the line at Slayer, so this was a total winner for me.
Yeah, that's when you know it's good, is when your parents hate it.
Yes. Yes.
Were you actually born when that? Did you say 13? Were you born before then? Karen? I wouldn't have honestly thought that. Would you?
I was 13 in 1988 when this came out. Yeah, and it was fantastic. It's a great album.
You silver tongue devil, you.
Have you noticed I'm a lot nicer to Karen than anyone else? Have you noticed this? No, that's a great choice and a real, a rush of adrenaline without a doubt. I mean, I'm not a Slayer fan, but I actually, the beginning of that, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, those 3 albums are still my favorite.
Such a statement of intent after Rain and Blood, because that was just faster all the way through. And this was like, I'm gonna slow the fuck down, and it's gonna sound even more evil.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really did it. They really did the job on that.
Those 3 albums, Rain and Blood to Seasons in the Abyss, they're still my favorite 3 Slayer albums. It's a great track.
Thank you very much, Karen. What a great choice. Okay, look, here he is. It's Todd.
Well, you're not making it easy on the new guy. Every one of those was an amazing choice. So I got to come up with something good, I guess.
I have no doubt.
So, and by the way, 1988 was only about 10 years ago, right? That's
feels like it. Yeah.
You're right there, mate. You're right there. Yeah.
Right. So Lee invited me to be a part of this, and I thought, well, how am I going to narrow down all of the songs in the world to 5 songs? And so there's no way. So what I thought I would do, I tried to focus on songs that had an intro that was a little bit different than the rest of the song. So it's not just the opening riff or the chorus or whatever. I mean, I love those when they come in with the riff and, or just right away. But I kind of focused on ones that had something little different at the beginning. And then I thought, well, why don't I just try to, instead of picking, 5 from a 7-year period in the late 80s or the late 70s to early 80s, I thought I would break it up into decades. So I got 5 different decades here. Nice. So I'm going to start with the newest one first.
This is already so Todd. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's what my wife said on our wedding night. So anyway, I'm going to start with the 2010s, and this is from 2013. That's an Australian band, and it's album's called Black Dog Barking, and the band is Airborne. And the song I picked was Live It Up. So I don't know if you know this song or the band. For those that are watching at home or whatever, I always kind of categorize Airborne as 2 parts AC/DC and 1 part Motorhead. And then you kind of mix it together, and that's what you get. Mix it together with some tequila or something. And so anyway, the Live It Up song, it's right in the middle of the album, which is kind of weird to have a really long intro in the middle of the album. Normally you think it's right at the beginning. but in this case, it's track number 6, and so, but the song starts out with a guitar by itself, and it has kind of a unique sound. It sounds like AC/DC. Well, they sound like AC/DC anyway, but it's like that For Those About to Rock kind of beginning sound, you know, with that guitar sound. So he does that for a period of time, and then it kind of reminds me, the chord progression reminds me a little bit of Isle of Avalon by Iron Maiden a little bit. It has that same kind of chord progression at the beginning of the song. And then when he's doing that, then they have like World War II planes sound, you know, going in and out, and then you hear an air raid siren, and then they get to the end of it and it just boom right into the song, and it just you put, you know, I'm talking about, I've got goosebumps on my arm, you know? So that's the kind of thing that I love. It kind of builds, and then bang, it just knocks you right out. So that's Airborne.
Very cool. I mean, even you, I haven't heard that song. I've heard some Airborne stuff, but even you talking about it, it sounds like it should have been the first song, without a doubt.
Yeah,
it sounds like that way. But no, very good, mate. Excellently explained as well. Thank you very much. Cheers, Todd.
It's actually cool when you see them live, because they always have a little bar with Jack Daniels, and yeah, they're always taking some shots during the show, and even walk with the bottle into the audience and back. So yeah.
That's one band I haven't seen live. I would love to see them.
And Jack Daniels. That's the mixture.
Very nice. I've seen them live a few times. They're really good.
Yeah,
they don't get over to the States very often, I don't think.
Yeah, I saw them at Download as well. That was very, very good a few years ago. First time I went, I think, to Download. So no, cool. Thanks. Thank you very much, Todd. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Right, Jam. Oh, it's me, isn't it?
You.
I told you I'd get confused already. So many people. So I have gone for, like I said, ones that I think everyone should probably know. Maybe obvious ones, but I just wanted to, I wanted to do that for this one. So the first one is the best metal singer there's ever been, of course, Ronnie James Dio. And there's loads, isn't there, of great intros that Ronnie's been involved with, whether it's through his solo band, Sabbath, or whatever. But I've gone for Last in Line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what you wanted from Dio, wasn't it? You wanted one of these epic songs that had a slow intro and then he would just roar. And I think this is the roar in it at the beginning, the home bit, obviously. And it's just, again, it's a song, I think someone said earlier on, no matter how many times you listen to it, I think it's Gam on the Black Sabbath one, never get tired of listening to this song. And I just can't wait for Ronnie just to crash in with his roar. And it's just absolutely amazing. And it's just Ronnie at his best. And off of my weirdly favourite Dio album as well. I just prefer it to Holy Diver, and I prefer that track to Holy Diver. It's just got everything for me. It's just got that epic sound. It's just amazing. So Dio, Last in Line, I've gone for my first one.
Excellent.
There you go. Yep. Can't argue with that. If anyone argues about that, I'm just going to delete them off the show completely. So that's my 1984 Last in Line. Okay, now I'm going to get it right. Back down to Jam.
Yep. Okay. Well, last time I had the birth of metal, now I've got a rebirth, if you like, and this was 1990. Judas Priest. We come back with a bang, and it's obviously the opening track. It's Painkiller itself. Absolutely phenomenal opening. The drumming is from Scott Travis is absolutely brilliant. Heaviness. It was showing intent of what the Judas Priest were all about after the not very good Ram It Down album, of course. Yeah, and it's just a classic drums, classic speed, power, and screams from Rob, etc., etc. Luckily, I'm going to see KK's Priest tonight and Paul Diano, so hope so that could be good. Although I don't think they play that. I'm surprised they don't play it, but they didn't last on the other time, so they might do tonight. We'll have to see, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That should be good. There we go.
Very cool. Have a good time tonight as well. What a classic song. What a brilliant song. I love that song as well. Absolutely amazing. Thanks, Jam. I think that's all. if you look through, like, because I didn't cheat. Is it cheating looking up like the best intros? I did a bit of that before this show.
Yeah.
And
is
Painkiller is cheating. Yeah, I know. Painkiller was mentioned. Painkiller was mentioned in a lot of lists if you look. So yeah, very
Got
cool.
Travis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, mate. Up to Mark. Second choice, mate. What you got?
I got to say, I'm very jealous of Jam. I'd love to see KK Priest, but I doubt they'll ever. Even if they play the stage, they won't come anywhere around here. So I have to rely on videos. All right, let's see. There's a lot of songs that have a great guitar solo, either in the middle of the song or sometimes at the end of the song. But how many songs start out with just a scorching guitar solo? I'm going with Dawkins, Paris is Burning.
All right.
And I have to correct myself 3 years later. I think the third video Lee and I ever did was third or fourth maybe, was a Dawkins Top 10. I brought this song up. I remember saying it was rather strange because the version of that song on Breaking the Chains is a live recording. And I said, the weird thing is there is no studio recording of this song. Well, at the time I didn't realize it, but after that I learned there was actually two studio recordings of this song. I didn't know it, but this song was actually concocted in George Lynch's pre-Dawkins band called Exciter. Now it was different. It got changed when Don got hold of it, but Don also recorded it on the original demo that was released in Germany as a Don Dawkins solo album. And on that recording, Don played all the guitars. George wasn't even involved in the recording of that song. And Bobby Blotzer from Rat played the drums on it, and Peter, help me out, Ralph, Baltes, is it Baltes from Accept? I never knew how his name was pronounced. Baltes, okay. Anyway, there was a studio version of that song, but it was never on a official, easily accessible Dawkins album. But anyway, the song starts off with just 2 minute incredible George Lynch solo before the song even gets started. I mean, like I said, I can't think of a whole lot of songs where the song kicks off with a solo before there's ever another note played or another instrument played. That song just gives me chills every time I hear it. And, I came close to picking a different Dawkins song, but when I thought about it, I said, "Nah, this has got to be the one."
There are a few Dawkins ones as well, Mark. In there, I've written a few down, but yeah, just some brilliant intros. I think I know one of them you might be thinking about. Probably our favourite song from Dawkins might be one of them. Well, a great intro that is. No, very cool. I won't mention it just in case. Although I don't think anyone might not choose it. I don't know, but no, what a great. Yeah, you're right. A great song. I've only heard the line.
Sorry, Lee. Mark, I think that studio version's on this George's Lost Anthology CD.
Yes, I believe it was. Yeah. I found that on YouTube as well. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was the studio version on there or live, but I don't think it's live on there.
I think it's the Exciter version, the studio version before Dawkins actually got hold of it and changed it up. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for mentioning that.
So can you feel the knowledge in the room? You can feel it, can't you? You can feel it all coming.
Fucking fantastic.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's nothing to do with age either. Nothing to do with age whatsoever. Thank you very much, Mark. That was brilliant. Thank you. And Ralph, obviously, with the pronunciation. I need Ralph a lot to tell you the truth with that sort of stuff. Ralph, what you got for your second one, mate?
I'm actually going back exactly 20 years to Black Label Society. And I've chosen Funeral Bell because that, I think, is a hell of an intro to a song, actually not quick, but thrashy, and then the guitar riffs that lay over the basic rhythm that mimic sort of the different bell sounds, and puts that into a metal riff. And then, of course, Zakk Wylde's voice and then his soloing is just amazing on that song. I've listened to that also so often. It's my ever favorite Black Label Society song. And I remember when I heard it the first time and how blown away I was when I heard it. I'm not a big fan of Zakk Wylde and Black Label Society, but that song in particular, and a couple more, but that song in particular really blow me away every time I hear it.
Cool.
Thanks, mate.
What album is this from?
The Blessed Hell Ride.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's his most popular. Well, people think of that as the most popular one, or the Pride and Glory one before. People love that one as well, don't they? More of a bit of a southern rock feel on that one, but no, absolutely amazing. Cheers, mate. Thank you for that. Dom, what you got, mate?
I've got this is another drum intro, but it's just I think the key to all of these, and I'm so glad that everybody got it, is that it's more about the anticipation. It's like you know what's coming. Like Last in Line's a perfect example, like what's coming, and it's just like you're just waiting for the fucking thing to start. So good. This is another one. It does start out straight up rock and roll, but it got a bit of a peak there. So it's Kiss with I Love It Loud. It's the best drum sound of all time.
Ralph, mate, you only had to mention it. Look, Ralph's like there.
It's just monstrous. I mean, this would be the song that you would play to test out a new stereo or something. I mean, it's just it's amazing. And then with the and then of course it goes into the song. But God, what a brilliant thing that is.
What a great drum sound on that album as well, man. Just especially on that song, is mental.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is, and I don't understand. It's the same producer that did Lick It Up.
Yeah,
but
the drum sound's lost in that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they should have just kept that Creatures production for like the next 20 years. Can you imagine Crazy Nights with Creatures production, man? That probably would have rocked a lot harder. So
that was perfect. That just proves how much we love rock and metal. Did you see Ralph there? You only had to say the name of the song, and Ralph was gone. He was gone, mate.
It is, man. If ever there was a drum intro, man, that's it. So simple, but
immediately recognized.
Yeah.
You would never.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's such an anthemic, song as well, which I love.
Yeah, great song.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you for that. Karen,
okay. Choice? Interesting. We should be talking drums a lot in this round, because this one is one for the drum nerds as well. It's called Eternal Rains Will Come. It's by Opeth, and it's the opening track to the Pale Communion album. And the intro to this track is about 3 minutes long, just the intro itself. But it's the first minute that is just, it's stunning. I mean, Martin Axelrod was the drummer playing on this album. He's not in Opeth anymore. It's incredibly technical playing, but really, really musical as well. And the drum sound is
Oh dear.
Oh, she's gone.
There
she is.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
The plumbing started.
Oh my God!
Wait, you want me to get any more confused?
I'm having so many issues.
Oh yeah, because she's in a different order now, isn't she?
Everybody's gonna have to keep track of their own
I'm
order.
still where I was when I left.
No, you've moved.
My house is just cursed at the moment. I tell you, there's so much stuff going on. Yeah, drum nerd song. First minute, Martin Axelrod, wonderful drum sound, incredible, crisp, cymbals, you can hear everything. This is one for like any failed drummers like myself can just listen and weep. It's just amazing. So yeah, Eternal Rains will come by Opeth.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Karen. Cheers for that. And thanks for like confusing me for the rest of the show. Okay.
I don't know what happened there.
I think it's Todd next.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
You are right there.
It's going to be easy for me because I'm after Karen, and it's not a bunch of other old bald guys. So, which I had to, at the risk of having the most hair of everyone, all the guys anyway, I went ahead and I had to represent my merch. Can you see it?
Oh, he's got his Iridium.
Mate, you got
Yeah.
Oh.
Link is in the description, right?
Yeah. Thanks for sending me this T-shirt, guys. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Oh, thanks, Todd. I didn't know it was you who bought a cap. But
What a star! Wow.
Yeah.
It's actually the dad cap. There's two options, and this is the dad one. So I don't know what the difference is. There you go.
Just for older people, I take it. I don't know.
That's right. All right. So we went with 2010s the first time. We're going to go to 2000s. And this is from 2004. This is kind of a super group. And this is their debut album. The band is Velvet Revolver. And the track is track number 11. The album is Contraband, and the track is Slither. And so this was their, I believe it was their first single from the album, and it was their highest charting single that I'm aware of. And but I love the beginning of it. It's a killer rockin' song anyway, and you'll probably see a theme here. Most of my songs are fairly upbeat, fast songs, but it starts out like a slow grind with the bass, Duff McKagan's bass, and it has kind of a rhythm to it, like, you know, like a little groove, and then it's got Slash and Dave Kushner are like going nuts with the guitar over top of the bass, and it just kind of keeps building a little bit, and then they get a 1 beat pause, and then the riff comes in. And it's another one of those things where you wait, and there it is. And it's I just love the way that opens up, and anything that has Slash in it, I'm a big fan of. I just love his songwriting, and his style is just amazing. So Velvet Revolver, Slither.
Thank you very much, mate. Cool. Jam?
No, that's a great song. Great song.
Yeah.
Velvet Revolver.
Yeah, very cool. Cheers for that, mate. It's me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so I'm going back to one that's already been mentioned, or band that's been mentioned. Dom had this one, so it's AC/DC. So I am going back to Bon Scott. We was going to do like a show. And Mark's mentioned a little while ago, we should somehow do like a game show, like a name that tune type thing, if we could figure it out somehow. So I wondered if you could. I'm going to mouth the guitar riff for this, and you got to guess what it is, yeah? You right with this? Down, down, down.
Let's Walk All Over You.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. So well done, by the way, Todd. Thank you for that. So I think, like, again, the anticipation for what's going to come. I love this song. It's just, when I was a kid, this was the song most played through from the first time I heard it, which would have been probably when it came out. And me and my friends, we were AC/DC fanatics, and we would just play the album from front to back with our tennis rackets and a hairbrush. Everyone would be in the band. I perfected the Angus, and all that. And Walk All Over You is just so different, isn't it? Because I think what they became later on, after a while, with Brian Johnson, was almost like, even though AC/DC you always know it's AC/DC because it sounds like them, but they're very one-dimensional later on, weren't they? And it's all very medium-paced stuff, and it was all very the same. I think in this, it was just totally different. It had that beginning bit, had a great intro, which is what this is all about, and then the fast verses and that great chorus that sort of slowed down, but that beginning just sets you up for the whole thing, and the drums and crashing chords, and absolutely brilliant. So, and then Bon Scott is my favorite era, so I can't help it. He's just brilliant, but such a shame.
I think it's everything. I would say 9 times out of 10 people would probably say the Bon Scott era is their favorite.
Yeah. Just a brilliant song. Never get tired of it. So AC/DC, Walk Above You, obviously off of 1979's Highway to Hell. So there you go.